Welcome, Star Wars Galaxy, to our amazing show, Star Wars, the Brotherhood of Darkness. As always, I am your host, Josh, and I am joined by other two brothers on the Hood of Darkness.
Nice.
Why don't you introduce yourselves, everyone?
I'm Caleb. Yeah. Oh, I mean, what should I do?
And?
And I like Star Wars. I mean, that goes
Oh,
without
wow,
saying.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's good information. And who else do we have on the panel today?
I'm Josiah, Josh's and Caleb's brother, and I'm also a big fan of Star Wars.
Whoa.
Wow. That's so fascinating. Well, the reason we've got this show going on, guys, we are all brothers, thus Brotherhood of Darkness. The one thing that binds us and does not separate us is our love of Star Wars. Growing up, there are been only a couple things in this world that we all can agree on, one of which is we love Star Wars, and we all love Jabba the Hutt, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So as we kind of get into this show, let's talk a little bit and let everybody know a little bit about ourselves and kind of what our love for Star Wars is. Caleb, we're going to start with you. Caleb, we need to know a couple basic things about you and your love of Star Wars. First of all, what is your favorite Star Wars movie? All right, that's question one.
Okay.
Question two, what is your favorite Star Wars character and why? And number three, Caleb, what is your favorite color? Go.
Okay. Well, I'll say The Force Awakens is my favorite movie. I really like it. I watched it again just recently, and it just reaffirmed my belief. So, love that movie. Favorite character?
YouTube might not like you for that.
Yeah, probably not. But I love Darth Maul. Probably my favorite. I'm a big fan of Sith. And he's pretty much my favorite, mostly from his development in Rebels and stuff like that.
And Clone Wars.
You did a great job with him.
Yeah, and my favorite color is red. If I had a lightsaber, it would be red. So.
And average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
What?
I said the average airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow.
Oh, I don't know that.
Anyway, Josiah, let's talk a little bit about you. Same three questions, sir. Favorite Star Wars movie, favorite Star Wars character, and why? And, of course, favorite color.
Favorite color, favorite lightsaber color, because I gotta know the differentiation.
Ooh, I like the lightsaber. We'll say favorite lightsaber color. You will start with that one. Start with that one.
All right. Favorite lightsaber color, not my favorite color, is purple. I like the purple lightsabers.
Super awesome color.
And not just because of Mace Windu, but I always had one whenever I do anything like in a Star Wars game. Gotta have purple lightsabers. They look really cool, and they can both be used by Jedi and Sith, so that's why I like them. But my favorite Star Wars movie is, hands down, it's The Empire Strikes Back. I love that movie because it's got, like, not a lot actually happens in Empire Strikes Back, but it makes it feel like a lot of stuff happened because it has a really heavy and, like, darker tone than the other movies that I really liked.
I mean, they're only on 3 planets. 3 planets, the whole movie, that's
Hoth,
it.
Dagobah, and Bespin, that's it. So, I really like how the Empire was actually militarized in the beginning of the movie, because that wasn't in Episode 4, like, at all.
Just wrecked them.
I like the character development a lot more in this movie than I did in New Hope, and I simply think it's the best out of any movie. But my favorite character in Star Wars is Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan, because I think he acted the crap out of that role.
You were my brother, Anakin. I love you.
Gotta love his high ground speech. But
gosh, there's
really
an Oscar in your future, Caleb.
Thank you.
I really like the fact that Obi-Wan kind of made Jedis tolerable for me, because I'm a big Sith fan, but he's still my favorite character, even though he's a Jedi.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know this, Josiah is literally, I would say, obsessed is the right word,
Caleb?
With the Empire and the Sith. And for Obi-Wan Kenobi to be your best character and favorite character says a lot about what they've done with him in Rebels, Clone Wars, and specifically Ewan McGregor in the movies.
Clone Wars with James Arnold Taylor was awesome.
He's great, yeah. He's really good. His voice, it's not the same. It's different, but he's still
pretty close.
It's still pretty good. Yeah. Only Mark Thompson probably could have done a better job, Caleb. That's probably about it. Mm-hmm. So my name, as I said, everybody, is Josh. I am a big supporter of Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, just like everybody on the internet. I love Empire Strikes Back. I grew up, Return of the Jedi was my favorite. I loved those little Ewoks. And then as I got older, I was like, I hate these little Ewoks. And it made life a little bit more difficult to be a Return of the Jedi fan. I love some of the stuff in Return of the Jedi. The lightsaber fight is the best in Return of the Jedi of the original 3 movies. It's great. The anguish and just the fight on a pure emotional level is awesome in that movie. But Empire Strikes Back has got to win it just based on Josiah. Like you said, it really, when it comes down to it, it's really simple. It's a lot of dialogue between just a couple characters bringing the story forward. And they just do a great job just making you feel that emotion. Some of the lines in that movie, like the "I love you, I know," it's still iconic. And I still have a shirt that says that. I would say my favorite Star Wars character, although they don't really portray him as the super powerful monster that he is Darth Vader. They've done a good job with him in the canon novels. They've done a great job with him in Rebels up till this point. Mm-hmm. The 2 times he shows up, holy crap, everyone wets themselves. Yeah. It is incredible. And his development as a character in the movies is so good. Even though oh my gosh, I hate Hayden Christensen. I hate him so much. The development of his character throughout those movies, where he turns on everyone else and is just ends up being this just unabashed monster up until Episode 6, and his final turn to help his son in the end, and that's he realizes what's most important, is just a great character arc, and it's one that they still copy in so many movies. It's not just Star Wars at this point. They've done this kind of a story so many times over, and I'm worried they're going to do it again in Episode 8. Let's hope not.
Better not. But they better not.
Let's not copy much more.
I liked
that
Snoke is actually Mace Windu.
Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely is Mace Windu. They're the exact same skin color. Their voices are the exact same. And Mace Windu's head is naturally that long. He just, I don't know what happened. It was CGI they must have done in the original to keep his head small. Mm-hmm. It must be how it is. So, and I'm all for Sam Jackson being in every movie ever made, but like that's a little ridiculous. So, anyway, that's moving on. That's kind of our introduction. Just kind of letting you guys know a little bit about each of us and who we are and why we love Star Wars. Because it's not just movies for us. It's comics, it's books, it's games, it's anything in the world of canon we try and keep up with and are just big fans of all the old EU stuff as well. Yeah. So this show, as we go forward, is going to be a lot of talking about some of the big events that are going on. We're going to talk a lot about some of the big movie news as we get closer to Rogue One, Episode 8, Han Solo, and all of those big new canon films. We're also going to be talking a lot about Star Wars Rebels, because that show has been growing by leaps and bounds. We're going to be talking about some of our old favorite stuff from the old expanded universe, the Legends, and we're going to talk a lot about some of the stuff from the now canon books and comics. So we're just kind of going to be talking a lot about Star Wars, which is what we like to do. And we hope you guys are get well informed from this and also have a little fun along the way. Yeah. Our first topic that we're going to be discussing today is in the world of Star Wars toys, actually. For all of those you don't know, I actually do collect some Star Wars action figures, and they do have the new line of Star Wars Rogue One action figures is going to be coming out next. I believe it'll be the 30th, September 30th. So keep your eye out for that. They're going to be calling it Force Friday, as they normally do. Got a lot of different cool stuff coming out. The most important thing to come out of this Star Wars toy line, though, is, if you haven't seen on YouTube yet on Star Wars official channel, Star Wars Go Rogue. Chapters 1, 2, and 3 are out right now. They kind of discuss they make up their own plot of the movie Star Wars Go Rogue, and it's all stop animation using action figures, which is really good. Caleb, what have you thought about the Go Rogue advertising effort that they've been going after?
I love it. I think this is a really cool idea. It shows off all their toys and stuff. I get to see all. I'm a big fan of Legos, so I get to see all their Lego sets. See if there's anything I want to be able to be buying and stuff.
You want an AT-AT.
I do. That AT-AT that shoots Nerf bullets, that looked awesome.
Dude, that thing is like $280.
I know, but it's so awesome.
But, oh man, I was like, what? Shoots Nerf? So
yeah, the AT-AT you actually can control with an iPad as well. It moves too.
Yeah.
All right, that's stupid. I just want an actual AT-AT. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you drop that price like $150 and get rid of that iPad feature. I buy that thing in a heartbeat.
Just have it set up.
But also, it helps me get interested in those characters. I don't know much about them myself. And this is kind of like, hey, this is this guy and that guy and whatever. Mm-hmm. So, it's cool.
Yeah, I get to see a lot of the main characters in action. Josiah, what are your kind of thoughts on that Go Rogue advertising campaign?
I really like it as well because it shows off a very, very wide range of the toys, especially the Stormtroopers. They show like 8 different types of Stormtroopers.
Huge one.
And yes, the huge one
that they had, like
and the little Lego guys were cheering him on and stuff like that. It's like I'd love a Stormtrooper action figure, like a larger one, because I really like the way Stormtroopers are designed and all, but I also think that those videos are really, really funny. Like, as you said, the AT-AT that shoots Nerf bullets, and the guy picks it up and just throws it in the air and hits a TIE fighter and stuff like that.
A TIE Striker, thank you very much. TIE Striker, thank you very much.
Whatever.
So, I really liked it too. They did a good job with comedy, and the quality is pretty good too. One of my favorite gags that they actually have done up to this point is what they did with Director Krennic, how he switched between 2 different types of toys. Because the one type of toy that he got switched to hadn't officially been announced yet. And so they weren't allowed to use it up until that point. So the change was pretty good. All the short jokes with the Lego Stormtroopers are always good too. Quality is the word that I was looking at, thinking about as I watched it. Like they did a really good job with the quality of it, and they blended everything really well.
I was gonna say you could. I hate to pick on it, but the line, "Are you a little short to be a stormtrooper?" is getting a little overused, I have to say. They said it, "Are you a little tall for a stormtrooper?" And they said, "Are you a little short for a stormtrooper?" It's just getting kind of old for me. So I asked them to stop doing that, but that's it.
Oh, good. I'm sure all the people at Lucasfilm and Disney are listening very attentively to what you're saying.
But out of all the toys that I'd like to get, other than the AT-AT, they have the U-Wing, and when they all dove inside of it, they're like, this is a lot more roomy than I thought it was going to be.
Cool. Kind of a clown car scenario, So if you haven't seen it yet... Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, go check it out on Star Wars' official channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll probably toss a couple links.
It's worth it. They're only like 2-3 minutes a piece, and like I said, the quality is good. Yes, they do a lot of the old Star Wars tropes and everything a lot, but it's still worth it for a watch. I still really like it. Moving on from there, one of the big other topics, obviously, about these Rogue One toys coming out is the actual movie Rogue One. Coming out in December of this year, right before Christmas. Mm-hmm. I know we're all excited about it. We'll be talking a lot more in depth as more news rolls out going forward. I know they have had some issue with it. They've just changed the composer of the movie as well.
Oh, really?
It's kind of been they've had a lot of big whirlwind decisions that have been changed.
It wasn't John Williams.
Yeah, I know.
No, I think that was probably the problem. Yeah. Well, I think it has. My assumption from everything that I've seen is, again, it probably had too serious of a tone, and they needed to clean up some stuff and make it a little bit brighter in places and more fit with the Star Wars theme. So that movie continues to have issues, but I've got to say I'm excited for it. Yeah. There are so many cool-looking characters that are coming out. Kind of really briefly here, Josiah, what are you kind of most excited for in this Rogue One? Is it a specific character? Is it any plot point in particular? Any scene you want to see?
It is simply, I want to see Darth Vader kill somebody. Not just choke out an Imperial officer. Him use his lightsaber and kill somebody.
I want to see
really seen
straight up murder.
Yes.
Hey, it's war, Caleb. Which brings me to my bigger point. I want to see some rebels and stormtroopers actually in real combat. It's very rare do we get to see that in the original trilogy. Yeah, so I want to see actual land
scene
battles.
Where you see the AT-ATs on that beach looked awesome. That
looks like
makes me think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool.
Yeah. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that beach scene. Seeing Darth Vader, both are great. I'm really excited to see what they do with Donnie Yen's character in this movie. He's the blind guy with the staff, if you don't know, and how he's attuned to the Force, but he's not able to really utilize it to its fullest effect. So maybe I'm thinking possibly he might have been a Padawan recruit and didn't quite make the cut. That's kind of my guess is what we're going to see with this character, and so that's why he's able to fall through the cracks. I'm excited to see him. I'm also excited to see. I think K2SO, I think is his name. Yeah, the Alan Tudyk droid. Yeah, Alan Tudyk. I love Alan Tudyk. Anything he's in sci-fi wise, I'm a big fan of. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Firefly. I mean, I even like him as Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball. Like, I love Alan Tudyk.
Everyone loves Steve.
He's in a new Pixar movie, and he plays like the little rooster or whatever. And they had a recording of him in the studio. He's just like. That's all he did.
I need that kind of energy brought to my Star Wars droids. Yeah. I mean, he's got this kind of HK-47 vibe to him from the old Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic games, where he's this Imperial droid turned to the Rebels. I think he's going to be a great character. I think he's going to bring so much personality to the droids. And I mean, even as far as like Force Awakens go, you see for some reason the guys at Disney and the guys at Lucasfilm are able to do such a good job getting emotion out of inanimate objects and droids. Yeah, with like droids. BB-8 has no business being as filled with personality as he is. Yeah. Like it's I don't know how they do it. I think actually giving this guy 4 limbs and being able to walk around and mess some people up, I think is super, super exciting. So Alan Tudyk, I think, is going to bring a lot. Yeah, I think, and not, yeah. I mean, no offense to C-3PO and all that, but yeah, C-3PO is C-3PO. How they used him in Episode 7 was fun, though.
Yeah, that was fun.
When he steps off that ship. Yes, Captain Solo. Great. Absolutely love that. That's right. No, I thought that was great. So I think they did a good job, and I hope using C-3PO forward is similar to that. But I'm really excited for that. I mean, the characters like Jyn Erso and all the rest of the gang are going to be great, too. I think Felicity Jones is going to bring a lot to that role. Krennic is going to be probably a really good villain. We get to see a Admiral for the first time ever, which is going to be a Grand Admiral in that white, beautiful white outfit. Like, how terrifying is that white outfit? I know, it's great. So they just nail it. Like, I'm ready for somebody with blue skin to be wearing that outfit next. So, which brings me, of course, beautifully segueing into the blue guy wearing the outfit from, of course, Rebels Season 3, Grand Admiral Thrawn. If you guys have not been watching Star Wars Rebels yet, you are missing out. There are great episodes in there. Anytime we get a good villain in there, it really brings the quality of that show up. And premiering this week on Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Central. We have the 1 hour long premiere of Star Wars Rebels. Caleb, how excited are you that Star Wars Rebels is coming out? Let's be honest.
I am pumped. Okay, I will say, I started watching Rebels. You got me into it. You're like, you gotta watch this show. I'm like, I don't know. I don't like Rebels. And I watched it. I'm like, ugh, this season. Got past the first season. Nearing the end of season 2, it just picks up, and it's great. Really got me excited. It's talking more about Sith and all that stuff, and doing more lightsaber stuff. Ahsoka's in it, and she's great in this. I didn't like her in Clone Wars, but I love her in Rebels.
She got much better near the end of Clone Wars. I will say that right now. Yeah, I'll say right now she was much better.
But I mean, they're just doing everything to try and get people excited about this. Ezra looks like a boss with his lightsaber and everything, flipping around and stuff.
Dude, using that Form 4 Ataru and flipping around with that green lightsaber.
You mean he's not shooting a little slingshot out of his wrist at people? Crazy.
I think everyone would like to forget that slingshot ever happened. Let's be honest. That's awful. Season 1, that slingshot that he shoots like energy balls or whatever in the world it is he's shooting.
It was as useless as Wasp in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Exactly.
So.
I'm most excited for Ezra's role in this season. See him have the dark side come out more out of him. If you haven't seen the video where Josiah thought it was dumb, but he was using the Force and like pressing the handle or whatever of the ATRT, whatever it is. And making it turn on all the stormtroopers and shooting them down. It was like, that's pretty boss, kind of dumb.
Well, Hondo, even in one of our trailers that we've had, the big one, Hondo is like, is that Ezra?
Yeah, he's like,
he's even confused by his growth. So I'm wondering, like, what exactly we're looking at time frame wise different, because he looks different, he acts different. He seems more like he's running the show a lot of times in these trailers. So I'm excited to see that.
Group there, so
I'm thinking we're looking at about a 2-year gap. But
you think so?
Yes, I think that I'm most excited about Darth Maul's relationship with Ezra, and Ezra's growing in the dark side, and I really hope Ezra actually does go to the dark side. It would give a lot more fun storylines to the show. Not necessarily fun for a lot of people, but for me it would be pretty fun.
You were saying you were thinking this is the last season for Maul.
I think Ezra is going to kill Maul using the dark side. I think it's going to happen at some point during the season.
I'm calling. I really would love to see. I think seeing on screen Vader kill Maul would be like the greatest thing ever.
Be cool. But
I would love to see that. I think you probably are more right, Josiah. I think there's a higher chance of that happening. But just for me, seeing Palpatine's new apprentice kill his old apprentice and just manhandle him would be great. I'd love to see Vader just open up and take him down.
Anakin fight Maul in
no.
Okay.
And in the
Obi-Wan did.
I mean,
that's right.
I'm trying to think.
Never did Anakin fight?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Pretty much every time Darth Maul fights anyone,
always Obi-Wan. Palpatine fought him at the very end.
Yeah, that's true. Which was
awesome
fight, by the way. Oh my gosh! But when Maul and his brother Savage fight Palpatine
and Darth Maul at the same time and kicked the crap out of him. It was fantastic.
It was so good. Oh my gosh. And like Maul thinks he's gonna take him down like for like a split second, and then he's like, "Have mercy!" And like Palpatine's like, "No, no." It's great. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I know, right? Gotta get the Palpatine known at some point. But yeah, go ahead.
I think a lot of season 3 is gonna be Sabine and Ezra. A lot of season 3 is going to be about them.
I really like Sabine. I think
I think there's going to be some tension between them there. I think that because Ezra's growing more mature, and I think it's going to happen.
Do we want to have the talk with everyone watching right now? Is that what's coming next, Josiah? Is that what you're suggesting?
No, I'm not suggesting anything. I think that's what the show's going to do.
I don't
know. I think that's what the show's going to do.
No.
I think there's going to be some tension there. I think it's just like Hera and Kanan, and they kind of have that tension where they love each other, but they don't want to become a couple or pair up like that because they both are putting the mission first. We might cross that line a little further. You might be right because they're younger. You might be right, Josiah. But I would say for me, there's 2 things I'm looking forward to. I mean, Ezra's going to be great in his development, and Sabine and the Mandalorians. Like, we're going to see Mandalorians again. Anytime there's Mandalorians.
As long as they're staying true to what Mandalorians.
That sweet Cortosis-laden armor, right, Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would say the 2 things I'm most looking forward to are actually Kanan's development and how he was blinded. Yeah, well, he got freaking sliced across the eyes. So, I mean, that's... Usually when my eyes get sliced out of my head, that usually takes away my vision when it happens. So I would say that's going to be his development and being able to stay true to who he is. And if this is actually going to push him on to something greater, because Kanan in the show always was, he's a comparable Jedi Knight. Like, he's fine. And he's fairly powerful. I mean, even with Ezra's not even that strong, but he almost can match Kanan. Because Kanan just doesn't seem to bring a whole lot to the table. And then when the end of season 2, when he's fighting Maul, and while he's blind and just had his eye sliced, spoilers, by the way, whenever this happens, he actually is able to knock Maul off of the temple with just using the Force. And I think seeing that development go forward, and will he have that kind of, should I give up moment? Should I just forget it? I can't see anymore. Or will he take that in and he's just going to fully move forward, just trusting in the Force? I think that is going to be a really interesting story that we've not seen in Star Wars, aside from maybe Ram Koda in Star Wars The Force Awakens, which is, the first one is a very underrated game. The second one is completely unnecessary, but whatever.
Well,
neither here nor there.
I'm going to agree. I think he's going to have that kind of conundrum in his mind and stuff, and start going toward more of a Force user rather than a lightsaber wielding Jedi, because I mean, it's possible they'll make him be pretty awesome with a lightsaber even though he's blind because he's using the Force so much. But I think he'll be more of a Jedi counselor or whatever, Force user than a fighter.
Yeah. He'll be one of those green lightsaber people, like Ezra is turning into.
Yep, he'll throw those little pebbles.
Yeah.
SWTOR.
It's going to be great. Gosh, man. SWTOR references. I like it.
And then you shoot the pebbles at people.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, moving on. I would say probably the most important, biggest, greatest, bestest thing in the entire world in this season, though, is, of course, going to be the guy we talked about a little bit earlier, Grand Admiral Thrawn. As I was saying, Star Wars Rebels seems to be, at various points in its seasons here so far, only as good as its villains have been. In the first season, the Grand Inquisitor was okay. Callus was, pretty inept.
Grand Inquisitor, I thought, was actually pretty good. The other Inquisitors suck.
Yeah, the Grand Inquisitor is fine. Like I said, he was the very last villain in the first season. His fight with Kanan, great. I loved the story, how they even brought him back later in the show. I think he was a good villain. Whenever we roll out next season and we finally see Grand Moff Tarkin and we see Vader show up and just destroy ships like they're nothing while he's just in one TIE fighter all by himself. Mm-hmm. When we see that happen, when we see him show up and fight Ahsoka, when we see Darth Maul show up in the last episode where he genuinely has Ezra believing that the dark side isn't that necessarily a bad thing, and how he's able to manipulate him so subtly. I think Witwer does a great job with Darth Maul.
Well, especially because of Ezra's need for more power, like Anakin kind of was like.
He wants to protect his friends. Yes, it's all coming from a good place.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's kind of getting him to go that way.
So, yeah, that's been great to see. But like I said, when we have Grand Admiral Thrawn coming up in this newest season, he is going to bring an intelligence. He is going to bring a just kind of suave evil to the character.
Interesting way of saying it.
I know, right? But that is Thrawn. He's so smooth. The man never freaks out. In the books, the old Thrawn series back in the day, written by Timothy Zahn, at no point does he ever freak out. Throughout the books, it's like this terrible thing happens. The plan does not go his way, and people will look back and stare at him, and he's just like, "We'll get them next time." This did not stop my plan.
Yeah,
this only slowed down.
Still on schedule. Let's go to the next place.
Exactly. So he respects the other people under his command, like Captain Pelion. He's terrifying in the strangest way, where you almost cheer for the guy because I don't know if he particularly is evil. He just happens to be playing for the Empire and appreciates some of the ideas with a strong central leadership.
It's because the Chiss value pragmatism, and that's a big part of the Empire, so that's why Thrawn is in the Empire.
Oh, no, I think you're right. I mean, we're bringing the Chiss back in, so we're going to learn about that species this season, I think.
I hope so.
I don't think we're going to go in too deep, but I think we'll have a little bit with those red eyes, the blue skin. I mean, he's too unique, and most people have never seen a Chiss before, ever. Even some people that have been watching Star Wars since they came out in the 70s, if you didn't read the books by Timothy Zahn, you probably have no idea who Thrawn is. Let's be honest. And you probably have never seen a Chiss before.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest. That's just how it is. So I'm super excited that we finally get to see him, and they've really taken a lot from the books. I know, Caleb, you and I have both read at least the very first Heir to the Empire.
I know everything that happens in the books. I have not read them, but I know everything that happens.
I'm halfway through the third one now, and in case you were wondering, oh no, I shouldn't read this anymore because it's not canon anymore, for the love of God, if you love Star Wars, read these books. They're excellent. Yeah, they bring Thrawn into the picture, who's great. We've got Mara Jade, who is the eventual wife of Luke Skywalker, shows up for the first time in these books. They do a great job developing the characters, and I've absolutely loved reading them, even though they're not canon. They've taken a lot from those books. They've had, oh my gosh, Timothy Zahn has been on consulting with Dave Filoni, the creator and head producer of Rebels, and talking about a lot of these things with Thrawn. So, Josiah, you are, we'll say everyone here is a Star Wars expert. Josiah, the one thing I think that's going to stand out to people is Thrawn's use of art. Do you know a little bit about this? You want to explain to people how in the world Thrawn uses art to defeat people?
So basically, part of his character. Yeah, you can tell from the trailer that Thrawn uses the philosophy, the culture, and the art of his enemies to understand them, understand their tactics, how aggressive they can be, and what they will do in a specific situation, and he will test that, and he will know what they'll do in combat, and he will outsmart and outmaneuver and outflank whatever the enemy is doing because he is so intelligent.
Respond better, and then TIE fighters swoop in and blow up everything. It's like
nice. Do you remember what that was? Do you remember how that happened in the first book? What he did?
Oh, I don't remember exactly what he did.
That was the Star Destroyer going against it was 4 or 5 assault cruisers.
Yeah, at least 3.
And so at least 3. And they're completely outmatched, and they're just saying, "Oh, we should retreat." And Thrawn is like, let's think about this, and sends one it was like a shuttle, send it out there. And the way the shuttle was killed by the things, Thrawn was like, that means that this particular species is behind the control of these 3 ships, based on this particular thing that I studied of their art. And so he turns the Star Destroyer sideways, flips it on its side, and all the TIE fighters come out the bottom and loop around and completely wipe out all 3+ assault cruisers. All because Thrawn knows about art.
The best part about that was anytime Thrawn has how did he know that? And then he explains himself. He's like, it was because of this, and they tend to act that way. And it's like, okay, I can't argue with you.
Okay, yeah. His logic is pretty sound all the time, and he doesn't ever feel overpowered. He just feels like he's super, super smart and super intuitive. Yeah. I don't think there's ever been a point where I'm like, that's nonsense, Thrawn, you don't know that. It all makes sense in the grand scheme of the story. So I really give it to Timothy Zahn developing that character. And I think everybody collectively flipped out whenever we first saw that trailer. Josiah, do you remember when the first trailer came out and all of a sudden it was Thrawn right there?
That was the only thing I was excited about, because at the time I hadn't even watched Rebels yet, so I was like, I gotta watch Rebels now. But so I finally have watched Rebels. Yeah. I finished it up to date so that I can be ready for Saturday. That was my goal. Yes, I finished. I only had 5 episodes to go.
You left
Darth Maul was easily... Darth Maul was the best part about Season 2.
I know. He was great, man. He's so good. So just in case, like I said, if you have not read these old Star Wars books yet, either get a free Audible subscription for a month or a free audiobooks.com subscription for a month. Listen to the Star Wars books, the old ones, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, any of the 3 from that original Thrawn trilogy. It is a treat listening to a Star Wars audiobook.
Yeah.
I listen to
the
most of
sound effects and everything.
Yeah, they get sound effect, like the sound effects in the movie, and the voice guy that does most of their work, Mark Thompson, is fantastic. And whenever you hear people talk, that's all you hear. Even in the movies, like you're actually hearing Mark Thompson do the characters.
Yeah.
Like Darth Bane and so many other great characters. Bane.
He did one really bad character. One.
Yeah, don't ask him to do the voice for a Wookiee, though. That's a little sketchy.
No, a Wookiee who speaks basic.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Not
you want to be safe here in our village.
If
you think that's bad, that's about as the quality of Mark Thompson on that.
I might have been better, yeah.
All of his other characters, he's great. He does a great Han Solo. His Lando Calrissian is pretty good. Luke is just his pretty much basic voice. But no, it's great. It's a real treat listening to him. If you ever thought about picking up these books and reading them, and it's like, I don't have time to read all this, get the audiobook. Every time I'm mowing my lawn or doing the dishes, I'm listening to the audiobook. It's a great time to do it. Anytime I've been driving long distances, it's so good to have that on in the car and just have Star Wars with you wherever you go. So listen to the audiobooks, people. It's worth it. So last thing going forward that we really have to discuss today is going to be the expanded universe. In this time with the expanded universe, we're going to be talking a little bit about all of the old Legends stuff. So as we've seen Dave Filoni do this season, he is a big proponent of all the old Legend stuff and is very excited to be bringing us Thrawn. In bringing us Thrawn, though, that opens the door to what other characters do we possibly have that we might be able to bring into the Star Wars canon. So we'll start with Josiah. Josiah, let me know here. I need to know who.
I'm not going to say what you're going to say.
Of all the Legends characters, Josiah, would you love to see Dave Filoni bring into Star Wars Rebels or any Star Wars material for that matter next?
Well, the one I want the most is Revan, but I don't think that's going to happen. So the one that I think is the most likely is Mara Jade. I think she could show up in like season 4, maybe be a villain or something like that, and then retreat into the shadows, basically. I don't know, because I mean, she is the Emperor's like personal assassin. So I think it could work for just a few episodes.
Yeah.
I think that could work out pretty well.
Here's my problem. Well, she's supposed to be, like, get with Luke and stuff, but...
That doesn't need to happen now.
Yeah, but the movies leave no opportunity for that to happen, in my opinion.
After episode 8, I'm telling you, you might have that opportunity to squeeze her in after somewhere. It could happen, but I agree.
After Rey holds out the lightsaber... And they stare for a while, and then Mara Jade's like, I made soup! Comes out of the little house. I don't know. Maybe she was there,
Caleb thinks that Mara Jade would be married to Luke at that time.
Yeah.
And that's where Luke is living.
Yeah.
That's what he
they could be divorced, or she could be dead. I'm just saying.
That's true. But, I don't know.
Anyway.
I feel like that would have been brought up somehow.
So who's coming into canon?
Okay. You don't have to believe me.
Into canon.
I don't believe myself. But, Revan, I will say, the way that they brought up that first trailer to Season 3 of Rebels made me think, this would be perfect, because they were putting together a light side and dark side holocron, and it was going together. I'm like, that's the perfect time for Revan, because he was the best Jedi, he's
the quintessential, yes.
It'd be like the perfect time to bring in that balance thing, and I think it's a missed opportunity if they don't do that, honestly. But they won't, so, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, if they did bring in Revan, they'd screw him up. That's kind of my issue. Because they did with Bane, and I'm not happy about it. So.
Yeah. You know what I would actually... So I'd love to see Bane, I'd love to see Revan, I'd love to see Mara Jade, but those have all been discussed, so I'll try and think of another one here. I would say the one that I would love to see, Star Wars does a great job with its droids, K2SO, BB-8, R2-D2, all those guys. Mm-hmm. So the droid that we are bringing into canon is going to be HK-47. HK-47 is from the old KOTOR games, just like Darth Revan is from the original Xbox and PC. He is a psychopath of a droid. He's literally a psychopath. So he calls all humans meatbags, and he's on your team, but also he's not at the same time on your side. He really just wants to kill people. That's his primary function, and he is just bathing in blood. Like, I'd love to see him show up in Rebel, like a character, somebody from the HK model, show up in the show and just like go crazy and just start like murdering a bunch of people, just like shooting rebels or stormtroopers or something.
He was like made to be like an assassin droid, right? Something like that.
Yeah, he's kind of like the IG-88, but instead of being like IG-88, he is a little unhinged, to say the least. So
I think I might have a new answer. It's Kyle Katarn. I think he could be in the show in Rebels. I think Kyle Katarn could be in that show.
Who is that?
For those unfamiliar.
Can you explain this, Josh? I think you might do a better job at explaining Kyle. All right.
Probably not. I don't do much.
He's in one of the old games. He was one of the actual. He like helped get the Death Star plans. He was a Jedi, and he was. I believe it was Jedi Outcast that he was in the game. Yeah. Like he was the main character in like 2 different games, and
Star Wars Dark Forces or something. I can't remember the name of the game, but
whatever. Okay. I think he could be in the show as well.
Yeah, he would be an interesting one as well to have on that show. So I'd love to see pretty much any of these characters that they're wanting to bring in any way, shape, or form, because the Legends continuity was getting a little bit wonky. It was kind of all over the place, but there's so much good in that Legends canon. I'd love to see more.
You just gotta pick the goodies out.
Exactly. So, which is why I'm excited that they're doing a Thrawn book that's coming out next year, written by Timothy Zahn. Even next spring, we'll see that come. So we're going to have Thrawn's new history is going to be put into canon here pretty soon. So I'm excited to see all these characters coming. So the last part of our show for today, everyone, is going to be the Star Wars movie pitch. In the Star Wars movie pitch, one of the 3 of us every single week will be pitching a movie to the others. The others will ask questions and kind of flesh it out a little bit for everyone listening. But it's basically going to be a movie pitch about what we think the next big Star Wars movie should be. The next 2020 Star Wars movie has not been announced, so Lucasfilm, Disney, listen up. The ideas will be flowing in the next few episodes of this show. Yep. All right, this is going to be important stuff. So week 1 is going to be actually yours truly. Josh is going to be giving the pitch this week. So everyone, and also just so you all know, these 2 have never heard this movie pitch before this moment, and this is how we're going to do it every week. So it's going to be a blind pitch. All right? So this week is going to be a movie that takes place between episodes 3 and episode 4, post-Clone Wars, okay? Kind of where we've got the Han Solo movie going right now, where Rebels is. This movie is going to be called Star Wars: The Hutt Cartel. So let me give you the basic rundown of this. Let me read this for you. It was a time of change and unrest in the galaxy. While the Empire appeared and dominated the political landscape, the underworld was rife with struggle. 2 gangs vying for the power that remained, were the Hutt Cartel and the Black Sun. Prince Zixor, leader of the Black Sun, has slowly been gaining power throughout the Outer Rim under the negligent watch of the Old Republic. The Hutt Cartel, led by Arbul the Hutt, a wicked Hutt who amassed his fortune on the slave trade of Ryloth. Our story takes place across the vast Outer Rim on Nal Hutta, Nar Shaddaa, which is the gambling planet owned by the Hutts, Falleen, the home of the of Prince Zixor's people in the Black Sun, and the movie from the planet from episode 3, Utapau. The Empire is content to let these 2 warring factions destroy and weaken one another, with the winner being used by the Emperor as a tool to further his goals. Okay. I bring you Star Wars: The Hutt Cartel. And so let's talk actors a little bit here. I would say in an ideal world, like I said, Disney and Lucasfilm, if you do not cast this person, you are a fool, and I will not give you the rest of the story. Okay. Arbul is, of course, being played by the incomparable Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti, let's just be honest, he is a changeling. He is the greatest actor of our generation. He is not only, let's be honest, he's a very handsome man. And his acting abilities are second to none. Have you seen John Adams? Have you seen Big Fat Liar? The man is incredible. This movie will also be kind of done, I would say, what's the best way to put it? Kind of the Nutty Professor style, where he actually is also playing Prince Zixor of the Black Sun Cartel. So he plays both lead characters in this movie because we need more Paul Giamatti. All right.
Cram him into as many roles as you possibly can into one movie.
As many roles as you can.
So
all right.
Only
and who
those
would not want to see a big
right?
Paul Giamatti?
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just have him play the main two characters because we
can
we
play
need
a slave dancer or something like that inside the palace as well.
I would consider that. So maybe this in Arbol the Hutt, Jabba the Hutt's got his palace or whatever. I would say, and they have Max Rebo and all those guys singing. Maybe it is a Paul Giamatti alien-led band that is in his home.
Really?
I think that would be a good spot for him as well.
To Photoshop.
Look, I'm telling you, it's going to be fantastic. The music is going to be great. Obviously, Lin-Manuel Miranda of Hamilton is going to write all of the music for this movie.
I'm unfamiliar, but okay.
yeah. That's all you need to know is he's incredible. He's going to win. He won so many Tonys. It's going to be great. So, what are the questions you have about this movie? As studio producers here.
I mean, I don't know. I noticed you brought Ryloth into it. Is there just going to be a lot of Twi'leks? Or what's the deal?
I would say, the more green alien chicks you can have in this movie really will spice it up. Okay. Yes, I would say so. Yes.
I agree.
And any other questions to flesh this out a little better?
How exactly do the Black Suns and Hutt Cartel actually fight each other in that sense and actually weaken another?
Interesting. So I would say if you have not read any of the new canon comics that they have out there, they actually have the Hutts riding these little spider mechanical things. So they have these little spider legs that walk them around.
You're lying.
I'm being totally honest. I'm not making this up. All the rest of this obviously is completely true too, but this especially is actually true. So I would see mostly, them fighting with these things. And I think it'd be good. I think most Hutts, since they're so big, are going to have pretty much primarily rocket launchers. Okay. So it's going to be pretty messy. So think of the big rocket launcher thing that I can't remember the guy's name did in the Rogue One trailer. They're all going to have those. Oh, yeah. And then I'd say they probably are going to have maybe 2 vibro blades also in either hand, and they're just chopping with
spider hands or their hands.
We're gonna say both.
Okay.
They're gonna tip up onto their spider legs, and their spider legs is gonna start playing. So I'm really gonna enjoy seeing that. I would say Prince Zixor and the Black Sun. They're mostly gonna be your standard mobsters. So they're probably gonna talk like this, the entire movie. It's gonna be a little bit much.
It's
yes, definitely. It's gonna be like Casino Royale, where it's 50% sabacc, kind of it's 50%.
Some would say that this movie would be the Godfather of Star Wars.
I would say so. I would definitely say so, with Paul Giamatti being both the Godfather and the villain of the Godfather, because he's Paul Giamatti. So yes. Any other questions, or does that close the movie pitch for the week?
I mean, I guess.
I think that'll work out just fine.
Up Academy, I'm telling you.
Paul Giamatti doing motion capture, or how is he doing a Hutt?
So he definitely is gonna be in a big green Hutt-shaped suit. Okay. So it's gonna be kind of difficult for him.
That's what this movie's about. Is practical effects.
I mean, if people don't really appreciate Paul Giamatti is a character actor that really gets in there. Yes. In the movie Big Fat Liar, when he turns himself blue, he's actually blue and his hair is actually orange. I mean, this man, what won't this man do? So he's definitely going to be in a big green Hutt suit. And they're just going to overlay, his Hutt texture on top of him. But he really wants people to understand really what it means to be a giant slug monster, Okay. Yeah, because that's just the way he rolls. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, Academy, listen up. This has been the Star Wars movie pitch. All right. So thank you, everybody, for listening to our incredibly serious take on Star Wars. That we've been able to talk through a lot of this stuff. As we go forward, we're going to be talking a lot more Star Wars. Like I said, Rogue One is coming out here soon. every single week we're going to be planning on doing and the plan is to do a review of all the Star Wars Rebels Season 3 episodes as they come out. So be looking forward to our episode 1 and 2, whatever they call it, the special hour-long episode review that we have coming out here pretty soon. But thank you for letting us talk Star Wars with you and at you. If you have any questions, comments, anything else you'd like us to discuss in the future, or if you have any movie pitches for us, which we always like to read, that we might want to bring on the show or just read and just enjoy ourselves, please do so in the comments. Thank you all, and may the Force be with you.